Hi everybody, this is Pramita here, and this is going to be an exclusive for my Facebook group. So if you have any friends that want to join in, you can invite them over. We'll see if they answer the questions and stuff like that, because I want to keep this group very close-knit, and I don't want too much of people, let's put it this way. But if it grows, it grows. I have nothing against it. So for the past 7 days, what I had done was I was not well, as you people know by now, and I had given out some freebies in the group itself, and then I decided that I'm going to show you a simple kind of journal which is very easy to make, a simple paper bag journal, just using a craft paper or brown paper bag that we all have access to. If you do not have access to a brown paper bag, do not fret. You can use any craft paper and create a paper bag like this. I think I do have a video, I'm not sure. I have done it before, so I just took some craft paper and created a paper bag sort of thing when I did not have paper bags, access to paper bags right away. But I was eager to make one, so I did so. But this one is, I have this paper bag, so I'm definitely going to use it. And this does not have a box at the bottom. So that is a very big plus for me, because when you have a boxed bottom, it adds a lot of bulk to your, front pocket or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll give you the dimensions of the paper bag so that you will have a brief idea. Now this is just for beginners. There are tons and tons of videos on YouTube how to make a paper bag stuffed journal. This is only how I do it, and I have tweaked the method to suit my capacity or my capability, as you can say, because as I say time and again, I have not been a crafter in the paper crafting way, nor had I ever made mini albums, nor did I make cards. I just popped into this journal making process. So there are many things which I do differently than other people, because they have gone through this process. And my process has not been this way. So there are differences in things like this. So I'll just give you a brief measurement of the paper bag. Now the paper bag has two things, irregular ends like this. One a little bit taller, one a little bit shorter. If you are not aware with paper bags, I think you are. And this is 12 inches and I guess it's 12.5 inches, probably a little bit more than 12.5. Yeah, let's say it's 12.5 inches, and this bottom part is around 7 inches, a little bit less than 7. Let me measure this out again. So I don't know if this is going to be a 2-part video, because probably it will. But this is going to be very simple. Anybody can make this. This is no rocket science. So this is 7 inches. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, this is the paper bag, and I am not going to mess with the gusset, okay? But here the gusset has been joined at the bottom. So I'll do only one thing. I'm just going to fold this up so that it creates a natural pocket. And I'm not going to glue or stitch right away. This will come towards the end, because I like to do these things towards the end when I'm sure where I want the things to be. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how I create a pocket, and then okay, so since this is 12-inch sort of paper bag, I'm going to take 5 inches. Yeah, so I'm going to take 5 inches, this is 5 inches as my measurement, and I'm going to score that. This is going to be my pocket gusset, or whatever you say. This is going to be my pocket. I want a very deep pocket so that I can put in enough ephemera in it. So this is how, let me move this. This is how it's looking. Now, sometimes, you know, when you're printing on your printer, you do not have, your printer might be temperamental, might not want to print on vellum. No fretting. You can easily layer things up with a very bright paper. So what I've done in this case is I have printed these in multiples because I already have 4 sheets of paper, I know. And the first sheet that I had given, I will show you a cheat trick how to make a single sheet into 2 parts, 2 sheets. The sheet was a bit longer than I intended it to be. So what I did was, when I was printing, I tried to, you can do that on your printer also, I tried to fix the portion that I want to print. So I kind of, so the paper was like this, if you remember. Sorry for the interruption. There was a phone call from one of my students. So so today is around late evening on Saturday, and Saturday I teach in the mornings. I am free in the evenings, but I'm super tired. I usually am super tired to do anything else. But what I was saying is that what I did was, when I printed the paper, I used a technique whereby, just show you. So this is what the paper looked like, you know. So let me put it this way so that you people will have an idea. Just a second. Okay. So this was how the paper looked like. And what I did was I chose a certain portion of the paper. So it was pretty tall. So I chose the top part as one paper to print out, and then I chose the bottom part to be printed in this fashion. So I got 2 papers using the same digital. If you have never tried that, you can try that and see you can get more out of your digitals. So I did that, and so I got 2 sheets of that, and this was another sheet. So I'm counting these 2 sheets as one because that was day 1, and then this was followed by, I think, an ephemera sheet, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just counting the sheets that I have printed as journal pages. So that was 1, so 3rd, and this was the 4th paper. Okay, so I will be digging into some other papers that I already have in my stash, which are very cohesive, and you will see that they all blend together. Basically, there's nothing that it stands out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the, you know, the portions that we want to cover this craft background. And even before I start that, just a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so these were the papers, and then I printed them multiple times, as I said, because I want to stretch this kit. So and show you that you can make a simple journal using some basic stuff. So this one was a little bit messed up by my printer. I had some issues, but then I sorted that out, and I have one fresh printed, and then, as I said, I have printed them multiple times. So I have a ton of ephemera also that I can use. So this is another story altogether. So now what we have is this irregular bit, which I am going to chop off. Okay, but I will also strengthen the lip so that when I put the journal in, it doesn't tear or rip or anything of that sort. So I'm going to trim this part off. I don't need this. I don't know, my camera is constantly changing its focus, and that's very annoying. I don't know why. Maybe because of the lighting. I hope this gets fixed or something of that sort. Anyways, so we have the paper bag over here, but as I said, I want to strengthen the slip part. Okay, and what I usually do is when I'm doing something like this, I line the inside also. So if you have any scrap paper that you want to use, you know, any ledger paper, anything that you want to use that you think will go well with this, you can definitely go for that. So what I'll do is I have some papers from my previous projects, and I will be using those. So to line this inside up, you can use your book pages also, you know, they are very sturdy and they can be used in this way. But I will be using some of my background papers, probably, I don't know. So I have some papers already that I can use. Just a second, let me grab some papers that I can use. Okay, just a second. Okay, so I decided there has been a change in plan. I decided to use this cardstock pattern paper that I have. This is a super thick one. This is an Indian brand and I love the papers that are in it. I have done a flip through of this on my YouTube channel. I guess it was a craft haul video, some sort of thing, but you can see the papers that are, they're very shabby kind of look. And so I'm going to go with this, and this is a pretty thick cardstock. This is 240 GSM. Okay, so I don't know if GSM works for you know, I don't know the pound system. We usually consider pages, you know, thickness of the paper with GSM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out the entire length of the paper bag, because as I said, these paper bags are pretty flimsy, and whenever I'm making something like this, I try to do the best I can to my ability, you can say. And I am going to be measuring this out, and how I do it is I'm going to measure this out using my pencil. So I'm going to turn this over. See, this is going to be a long video sort of thing, so if you want to take a break, if you want to you know, take a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you want, you can because it might not get finished in one go. These things take time, but I will try and do as quickly as possible. Some things I will explain, some things I won't. I will just show you. And I know there is this weird shadow, and that is because I'm doing this in the evening. So I am going to cut this up. I am going to cut this up and then trim it according to my needs. So this paper is pretty thick, and that was one of the reasons why I chose this, because I want the inside to be pretty strong. And I'm going to cut, okay, so I'm going to cut two portions like this, so if you understand what I mean. So this is going to slide in. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit wider, so I'm going to trim that down. Okay, just so that it slides into the paper bag. I'm just eyeballing this. If it doesn't work, then we're going to trim this again, but I think it's going to work. Okay, so this is what it is. So you can see how it is becoming. It is pretty sturdy. And now I'm going to use something on this side also. So same measurements, but I don't think this paper will be enough. So I'll have to look for something else, some other paper. So I will be using this paper because this is very you know, neutral, and it basically goes with everything. So I'm going to use this paper, and these are excellent for journal covers and things like this. So again, as I said, I already have this measured out, so I'm going to make a same same sized, you know, paper box sort of thing, whatever, and then I'm going to just trim this up. So this way I know that both the pieces are same, because these paper bags are honestly not very sturdy, and this is my way of making them sturdier, so that they don't get ripped, they don't tear, they're going to withhold the pressure of holding a journal. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create these separate pieces, and then towards the end we are going to assemble everything. So this is going to be the other one that's going to go on this side. Okay, so this is going to go in on this side, and this is going to go in on this side. So now what we have is a pretty sturdy and pretty decorative paper that would be nice. And this is, let me tell you, this is very strong, because you have 240 GSM paper. This is like thick cardstock, and very, yet this is bendable, as you can see. So now is the time when I'm going to choose some papers for this part, and as well as this part. Now this part is going to be closed up, so I need not put anything till the bottom. I can only use something over here. So what I'll do is I'll choose a portion. I've not decided which portion I'm going to use. Okay, so if I put this one, see, it is more or less cohesive. I don't know what's wrong with my camera's focus. It is really, you know, it's getting annoying. There's something which is bugging this camera, I guess. I need to fix that. Anyways, so I'm going to use this paper. So for that, I think I have one that I've already trimmed the white portion down. No. Okay. So no worries. We're going to trim this white portion. And we will glue everything down towards the end, so you have to watch towards the end, till the end, to see how things go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure this out. So I want this end till here. Okay, so this is actually the part I want. Okay, so I can tear from here till here. So I have my pencil. I'm just going to mark till here until here. And this is why I'll tell you, because I don't want any extra wastage of paper. So I'm going to go with this so that I am a little bit prudent and not be wasteful. So here I have this much. Okay, so this is what I have, and I'm also going to trim this bit off. Now I'm not bothered about the bottom portion because I know I'm going to be okay. So I'll do this way. This is about 120 GSM paper, pretty thick, and because that is why the, you know, the quality of the paper is very important when you want your prints to be very vibrant and bright and stuff like that. So this is what is going to go on over here. Okay, but the bottom part, what I'll do is, I have this idea. I'll create a window sort of thing using the papers from this portion. So you can see it is going to be very much cohesive sort of thing, and that's what I want. I don't want anything to stand out, so using only one single sheet, I am trying to create this. Okay, and we'll still have some left, hopefully. Okay, so we have these strips we need to adjust. Someone at the door. My husband is looking into it, so I need not worry. So I'm going to put this, and again I'm going to mark how much I need, so that, you know, I can just take that off. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this part. So let me tear this part a little bit. Okay, and of course I'm going to tear this part also. I don't know where I marked it. Marked it somewhere here, isn't it? It's okay, let's make it a little bit wider. Okay, and I'm going to take a little bit off from here. I can't tear that well with the ruler on the narrow edge. I don't know if anybody else has this issue, so in that case I just tear this up. Okay, and then I'm going to tear this part up also. So let it be. So I'm going to push this like so. So this is going to be our cover. Okay, and then I might put in a little bit of a window sort of thing over here that would come later on. So these two parts are done, and the inside is also done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create some ephemera. Now I have already provided some ephemera as freebies, so I will trim those down and I'll be back to show you what kind of ephemera I have so that I can use in the journal. Okay, so I'll be back to show you how they look after I've trimmed everything down. So we are still continuing with the you know, the stuffed paper bag journal. This is the next day morning because today is Sunday and my husband is out to run some errands, and probably it's going to take up his whole day, and I'm at home the whole day because I need to finish a few things, and I'm not I don't travel so much because of my health issues. So the thing that we're going to do is we had already done this part, done this part. Okay, and now we need to figure out, like, I think it was like this. Yes. Yeah, so now we need to figure out how big or small we are going to make the journal. So I'm going to make the journal first because that way things are going to be a little bit quicker and faster. So what I have here is I've gathered a few pages. Now As you know, the pages that I had given in the freebies were 4 pages. I have used up one of those, and I still have 3 more. And one of the pages I had printed in a different fashion. I did talk about that. I don't know if that page is here with me. No, I don't think so. Anyways, it is somewhere here. Yeah, so it is here. See how forgetful I am. Pramita, you're getting on in years. So this is what we have. I have managed to make one extra piece, just like I told you. When you put that on the printer, you can adjust that. If you're printing through your mobile, this is very easy. If you're printing through your desktop, you might have to reduce or move the page a little bit, but there was a mistake. Now you can call it a happy mistake or happy error or whatever. This page that I had designed was a tad taller than it should have been. So if you print, you can print it in 2 parts. Like one will have prominence of the first half of the page, and the second page will have the dominant second half of the page. So that is what I did here, and in that way I got 2 sheets out of 1 digital page. It was a mistake, and I used that mistake to my advantage. So I have 2 pages there. I have 2 more pages here, and 1 page I have used up to cover the paper bag itself. Now the back, you might be wondering about the back. We'll do that also. But for that I have some different idea. Like I might do a collage kind of background. We'll see. We'll come to that. That will come towards the end, because when we realize what scraps we have, we can put together a collage background back. Okay, and then of course I'm going to finish them off as I usually do. So this is what it is. Now the journal itself is not going to be very big, because paper bag journals, stuffed paper bag journals, are generally not very big, because this is a simple project. This is not a very, you can of course make it bigger and thicker, provided you have the space to put the journal in. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, I have my measurements. Like this is around 7.5 inches tall. So of course I'm going to make my journal not more than 6 inches tall, and over here it has 7 inches width. But I'm not going to make my journal more than 4.5. So my size will be 4 by 4.5. 6 by 4.5. It's pretty early in the morning and my brain is still not functioning well. I need really a strong cup of coffee to get me going. I had my morning tea. Usually I take tea in the morning, and then a little bit later in the day I take coffee. So I am not in that, I need that coffee kind of mood right now. Anyways, let's get this done, because this is not going to be done probably in one go. So I'll post this in 2 parts. One is where we put together all these journal and stuff like that, and then we're going to do the finishing part in the next one. And these are going to be unlisted video. If you are not a member of this group, then you will not be able to see this. This is going to be uploaded on YouTube with the link, the exclusive link, posted in my Facebook group. And if you want to comment, if you are unable to comment on that unlisted video, you can always comment on the link that I'm going to provide, so that I know if you have any queries, if you want to know anything, how things have been done, I am more than willing to show it. I wanted to go live, but I was not sure whether, the timings will be perfect, because I live in another time zone very different from most of my viewers. So I decided against it, and then I decided to show it in this way. This way you can watch it at your own pace. It's not going to go anywhere. You can watch it later. You can re-watch it, whatever suits you. And this is not going to be published on YouTube ever. So it's totally exclusive video. If I decide to delete this video from YouTube or the link, then it's gone forever. Okay, so that's how things are. So here I have 4 pages, and now I'm going to gather up rest of the pages. Now what I usually do is I do have some filler papers and stuff like that, but I have now I want to make a cover for this. So for the cover, I think I'm going to choose I can choose this lady on the cover. So I think I'm going to keep it like this. So she's going to be on the cover, so that's different. And now we have 3 more papers to play with. Okay, and 3 of the pages, and then we have 3 tea-dyed sheets, that's 6. And then I have a neutral page. This is not from my shop, this is from MyPorchPrints. She has these neutral pages sort of thing. So that is how much we have, 6, 7. I have a piece of printed vellum, 7, 8. And then I'm going to add this ephemera piece. This is a printable, I think it's from Old Design Shop, I'm not sure. And we might use a book page. Okay, so basically we're covering everything, and I might throw in some so this is the book page that we're going to use, and this is the book I'm using, Oxford Book of Garden Flowers. So this is what we have, and I think this is more than enough for to get us going. So how I do things is, when I know that my my page is not going to be more than 4.5, that means it's 9. So what I'll do is I'll just 9. So this is what this till here I want this. Okay, so I'm going to just a second. See, I'll show you. So this is how I guesstimate. I am not very fussy about making exact measurements, but if it is what you want, then you can measure this and cut this out, trim this out, whatever. But I'm going to be using my ruler, and yeah, we're not going to throw these. They might come in handy. They will come in handy later on. So here is my next sheet. So what I'll do is I'll see how much I need, and probably I'm going to trim this part off, because in the meantime I have cut down all the ephemera, the 3 sheets of ephemera that were given. I have cut down everything, and I might do some collage over here. So that will be another thing that you can watch. And what I'll do is, I'm not going to keep it like this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just pull this off, see how much I have. So I can do that also, I can do this also. Choices, and choices. So what I'll do is I'll keep it 8.5. Okay, because when we will be adding papers, we are going to be bunching up stuff, because we're not doing this machine cutting or machine stitching, so they will bunch up eventually. So what I do is some of the pages, not all, some of the pages I keep a little bit shorter and some a little longer. Okay, so I have this, I'm going to keep that. So we are going to trim the top also, because our journal is not going. Look how pretty it is looking. Oh my god, this is too nice. Okay, so we have this is getting a little bit wider probably, so we'll put this here. So you can see, once I start putting papers in, they are going to go in smoothly. Now we are going to put the book page. Okay, so for the book page, it is pretty good in size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to You can invert the page and put it in, that will work too, but I'm not going to do so. And remember the height, we decided to keep at 7, 6.5, 7, I guess. Just let me go through the paper bag again. So this was 7.5, so I'm going to make it around 6.5. Okay, so 6.5 is going to be the height. So let me fix this and then we can just trim this off at 6.5. Okay, so now I want to use this. So what I can do is, since this is already you know, taking shape this way, exactly I don't remember from which this is, I think from MyPorch old design shop blog. She gives some freebies, so you can check that out. You can subscribe to her, you know, blog posts. She does that and she sends some freebies. I think it is from one of her freebies, but I'm not sure. This can come from my some other stash also. So what I'll do is I'll just fold this in half. Okay, because I know I'm not going to make it more than 4.5. So this is, and I'm going to fold the extra bit as a pocket. So we're not going to do that right away. Just I'm letting you know that that can be done. So this is the vellum piece, and what I'll do is I'll just take off a little bit white. If you want to know how I print on vellum, then I can show you, but my machine is pretty temperamental. Sometimes it prints pretty well. I can show you some of the prints that it has done, but it also tries to mess up sometimes. And as I said, it's very temperamental. While printing on vellum, it just decides that, you know, today is not going to be my day. It's that kind of a printer. So I'm going to keep it this way. So this is what it is, and this extra bit I'm going to chop off, because that can come in handy in making pockets and stuff like that. So let me tuck this in and see if this works well. So you can see there's a florally element peeking through, so I'm happy with that. So what I'll do is I will chop off the extra and keep it. And another tip I would give, if you're planning on printing on vellum, don't go for color dense images, because vellum is vellum or tracing paper, whatever, it is not as porous as paper. So what happens is your color tends to float on the surface itself, and then often it, you know, bleeds sort of, it, you know, the images are not as crisp. Sorry guys, images are not as crisp as you would want them to be. So that had been one of my learning things that I did. Okay, so now we're going to add some more blank paper. Again, the same thing. We're going to measure. Now I'm taking the papers a little bit shy of 9, because as I keep on adding papers, it's going to be you know, the requirement will get shorter and shorter, so that the outer papers, not the extreme first one, that I want a little bit. So this one is a little shorter. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this off, this page off, and put this in, because this is not exactly 9. This is a little less than 9. Sorry. So now you can see it's covered every little bit, nook and cranny and whatever. So I will be adding, this will be our opening page. Okay, so I'm not going to use this page before that. So I have used this. Now I'm going to use this. So now what I can do is I just line up the papers. This way, you know, you are sure that your pages are going to be, now if you decide that you want your pages to be a little bit irregular, more than welcome. You can make it like this. This is from MyPorchPrints, and I am not going to trim this part down because that can be a tuck spot of sorts. So I'm just going to give it a, you know, rough crease sort of thing. Now I'm going to add another tea stained paper, and again I'm not going to measure everything out, measure kind of thing. I'm just going to guesstimate. Yeah, so this is what I want, and I'm going to take this off. This is what I want. Now it's totally up to you. You can just trim them up and use them as you like, but this is what I do. So this way we have a kind of you know, carefully arranged irregular pages. They have to be carefully careless kind of look according to me. You can of course differ in choice. So now what I want is, I want this page, but I don't want two pages of the same kind of printable in between. So I might put something else. So for now what we can do is we can use this. So again, as I said, I'm going to push this and see. So now I know how much I will be requiring, so I'm going to use accordingly. Line up the edges at the bottom or at the top, whatever, and I have this. So if I want, I can make this into a tuck spot, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I'm going to chop that off. Okay, let me keep it this way. Then I'm going to switch things up a little bit. This is me doing all sorts of calculations. So let's put this in the center. Okay, the center will have a pretty page. Let's put this in the center. So this is a little bit wider. Let's fold this a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this over. So this is going to be our center piece. Okay, so gathering of the papers is a little bit tricky. How everybody arranges paper is different, so you have to follow what you like. So this is it, and now I need to put some paper over here. I can put this here, but don't want this over here. This is a constant shuffle, you can say. So I have this portion which I can fold over. This can be a side tuck sort of thing. Okay, and then we have this page which I want to put over here. So what we have is again a blank. I really want to put a blank piece over here, so maybe some sort of a, you know, this is my version. You don't have to do it this way, but okay, let's see if I can put in some other style of paper where you can write as well. So just a minute. So I will be using some filler papers, background papers, whatever. This is from my damask background paper pack that's in my Etsy store. It comes in two shades, two types of papers. One is the warm tone and one is the cool tone. So this is from the cool tone because I want to bring out the blues a little bit. It does not have too much of blues, but this has a little bit of blue. So I'm going to bring that blue into the background also. So what I'll do is I'll put this page here and then this one here, and then I'm going to put this, okay, and then this will come over here. So this will kind of a bluish brownish kind of effect. Because I do want to reduce that reddish color that is there over here, so that it's kind of a muted balance sort of thing. So I'm going to take off this page, this portion, because I don't need this. I'm just going to, this is so much of eyeballing and guesstimation, guys, ladies, sorry. It's, you know, it is difficult because I mostly teach boys. Nothing against the girls, but it's just that I have more students. Those are young men in class grade 7, 8, 10, you know. So I'm more used to addressing as guys. Okay, so we have done this, and this is going to be our, you know, the front page. So I am keeping this a little bit wide, okay, so that it will sort of cover all the rough edges, or not the rough edges, but the, you know, irregular edges that we already have. So but it still will have that irregular raggedy kind of look. So I'm just going to wrap this a little bit, and this is what we have as extra. So I'm not going to cut that off. I'm going to fold this. If the need arises, I can always cut it off, and then we will be good to go. So this is what we have. And now I need to trim this to 6 inches because our journal is a little too much taller than what is expected. So what we're going to do is, this is the journal, and I want the journal to fit in till here. Okay, so I might trim some of the pages from the top, some from the bottom. Like this one, I want to keep the blue, so I might chop off from the top. So there is no rule or rhyme or anything of that sort, but it's just how my brain functions. And color and positioning of the images plays a very vital role in my journals. Not everyone thinks like that, I know, but it's, everybody has a different style, you know, and my style is like this. So again, I'm going to measure this much. So 6 is the height I'm going for, probably 6.5, not more than that, 6.5. So if it is 6.5 and I have 8 inches over here, then I need to take off 1.5 inches from the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through my cutter, 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to take off this bit. This is the size we're going to go for. Okay, so once this is done, I know how much I want to take off from the top. In that case, what I'll tell you, I want to keep this as a pocket, so I'm not going to mess with this. Okay, I'm not going to mess with this. And in this case, with the floral page, what I'll do is I'm going to trim from the bottom part because I don't want this. So I'm going to trim from this. So I'm going to take this. You can put together any journal using the same procedure. You don't have to follow the same papers or anything of that sort. But since these were, you know, given easily accessible, you can simply use a printer. If you do not have a printer, you can go to your local you know, print shop, or I don't know, like Walmart and stuff like that. Or in India there are lots of print shops, Xerox shops, where they do the printing. You just download these in a you know, flash drive or pen drive, and then you just go to them and say that I want to print this file. They will print it out for you. Of course, that is totally dependent on the kind of printer they are using, the kind of ink they're using, but it's generally fine. I have done it, so it's not a big deal. So here we have the page, and remember, we are following this as our template. Okay, so if this is our template, I mean, basically it's going to come till here. So what I'll do is I'll just take this. This is our pocket. This is going to be a pretty deep kind of pocket, and I'll show you. You don't have to trim anything down. So this is how it's still a little bit taller. That's okay. It's still a little bit taller. Then that means we can trim a little bit from the top. So not much. Okay, so I'm going to take it 6.5 is going to be around this, and I'm going to just take off. This is totally eyeballing. This comes with a little bit of practice, but yeah, that's okay. So this is the front part. I still need to take off a little bit. Let me pinch this a little more. Then we can do it. Okay, so we have this. The journal is not going to be too big, and that's the intention. You don't have to have a big journal. This one, this edge, I usually add a lot of strengthening to the lips, and in this case, since I have this extra bit, what I'll do is I'll just fold this over. If you want, you can punch holes over your half circles and use them. So this is what the measurements look like, and I think I'm going to trim this down and come back to show you how it looks after trimming everything. So now we have gathered all the papers and cut them down to size. Now again, I'm going to arrange them because the arrangement is all messed up right now. That's okay. So we have okay, so this was one set, and this was supposed to go in here as far as I remember, and then this is going to go front. Okay, and this was supposed to be in the middle. Okay, and this one is going to go in here. Okay, yeah, so so I'm going to put this page over here. So there's no rhyme or reason how I arrange papers, but generally what I do is I do not try to you know, keep a very busy kind of look, but sometimes it happens. So I'm going to put this book page over here. Okay. But usually what I do is the opening page should either have a very impressive digital thingy, or what I do is I create some kind of a tag flip or something of that sort. That's my usual system. Now, as you can see, a little bit is peeking out. That's okay. We are going to think about that. Maybe we're going to trim that. We'll see what to do with that. but the basic journal is more or less gathered and ready. Now in the next part, what I'll do is I'll show you how I make my cover, and probably this is going to be a 3-part video, because you know there are lots of little bits that I do in a journal. This is a very simple process. It's just that if I do it at one go, it's going to be a very lengthy video, and it's going to be difficult for me to upload, as well as, you know, you might get bored or tired. So I'm going to post this as soon as possible, probably on a Sunday itself, because today is Sunday, and then on the next day, that is on Monday, you'll see the next part, and on Tuesday you'll see the next part, and we'll be done with this. So the next thing is that this is going to be a giveaway. This journal is going to be a giveaway in my Facebook group. So if you are a member, please comment below on the links that I'm going to provide. You have to comment on all the parts. I don't know how long this is going to be. Either it's going to be a 2-part video or a 3-part video. I'm not sure, but most probably it's going to be a 3-part video. So please comment on the 3 of the videos or 2 of the videos, how many parts there is going to be, and tell me which is the part that you liked best. That is going to be entered as your name is going to be entered in the giveaway, and then we'll do you know, sort of, you know, picking up the names and stuff like that, or we can do a random number generator. We'll see to that. And this journal is going to be shipped to you. So that is the main idea. And if you want to follow along this process, it's very you know, done in details basically. So I don't think you're going to have any issue. And in the next part, I will stitch this journal, create the cover, and complete all the stitching bits and stuff like that, whatever I want to stitch. But as I said, this is going to be a very simple journal. Not much sewing is going to be involved. So that's the end of the first part. Keep watching for the second part, and remember to mention which portion did you like best, and whatever number of videos there's going to be in this series sort of thing, making of this paperback journal. You will have to comment. If you want to enter into the giveaway, you have to comment on all 3 parts, and mention which portion did you like best in that segment, and you will be entered as a person who's eligible to get the journal. So thank you everybody for watching this, and watch out for the next part.